And a good evening. Happy Monday to you. April the 8th. Nice day out there today. I'm still showing 75 degrees.
Yeah, it was. It's in the low 70s when I came down.
A little cloudy today. I don't know if you saw the eclipse. I can tell you that between the clouds and the eclipse, we had some street lights come on out front.
It got darker, definitely.
Yeah. And we weren't pick up, 55, 60% of it?
Yeah.
I mean, we were kind of on the...
Yeah.
Not really the outskirts.
About 3 o'clock, a couple of hours ago, a few hours ago.
Yeah. But that's about when I noticed what was going on outside.
Yeah. Won't see another like that, and hopefully we'll remember 20 years from now.
Ooh. 84, I'll take it. I don't know how much I'll remember.
I'll take 80.
I don't know how much I'll remember at 84, but I can remember we had some when I was a kid, and they used to talk about how to make the boxes, that you could do it. Those were science projects.
When was the last one we had before today? You remember?
According to my daughter, it was 2017.
Very good, correct.
And she was in Boone.
Okay.
And she said we were all out the stadium watching the eclipse.
Oh, you drove up to Boone?
No, she was.
Oh,
she was in school there.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what she said. That's her story, and she's sticking to it.
Well, and there were people that drove. I even knew I teach with a fella that he was scheduled. He was going to drive all the way to Erie, Pennsylvania, just so he can see this. And there were people that driving 4 or 5 hours just to see this.
There's a lady that does some feature writing for us. Used to work for the Record.
Uh-huh.
She planned a trip to see her son and grandchildren in Dallas. And for that, she left Saturday, and I think she's coming back tomorrow so that she could be kind of right in the path. And then a girl that used to work for the radio station years ago from Maiden here, her and her husband went somewhere in Texas to see it, just planned like a little vacation trip, and went out there to see it.
From Texas to Maine, I guess there's the path.
It's kind of,
like a front in the weather forecasting.
But it, I didn't see it, and it came and went, so everything's okay.
I even had kids today in school. They got on Amazon and bought some glasses. $15 for those glasses.
Everybody's hunting for them.
Yeah.
To get them.
I don't know when he got them. He said he got them a few weeks ago, paid $15 a piece. He was giving them out to people today.
Wow. That's different. No, I'm not that. I guess that's not. Is that on the astronomy side?
Yeah, science, astronomy. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know if the sun was included in the astronomy side.
Oh,
I thought that was just
the sun,
stars.
the moon, and the stars.
I do watch some things. It's funny. On TikTok, I watch some funny things about how things happen now and then when it'll happen again, and then you do this in science, and this is not science class, just in case you're wondering. The closest star is, I don't know how many light years, 100,000 million light years away. So the star could have burned out before the Earth was really formed because
that's
of
how far.
Yeah,
that's how far away it is.
And I guess my feeble mind just can't quite grasp all that.
I don't think most people can.
No,
I don't think
I can't.
You can grasp that. No, I agree.
I can't do that. Surprised by NCAA happenings over the weekend with women's basketball and the men's games?
Not surprised, but surprised at some of the comments from Dawn Staley.
Somebody else was telling me that. I'll be very honest. I don't listen. I don't listen to post game comments. I watch the game.
This wasn't post game.
When was this?
This would have been pre-game.
Oh, okay. I don't listen to those either.
No, somebody planted a reporter asked the question, thinking about what are your thoughts about men having the transgender thing, and what do you think about a man playing a woman's sport? And she paused for a minute, and she said, "Do you really want my opinion?" And the reporter kept on, and she said, "Yeah, I don't see any problem with it." And so she caught a lot of flack from that, as opposed to maybe a woman getting everything changed and becoming a man and playing a man sport. But she did has some really classy things to say live right after the game was over about Caitlin Clark and
being the GOAT.
Yeah.
I did see that,
and what she's done for women's basketball and growing it and everything.
In that line of topic, since we went there, NAIA has basically banned it.
Yes, they have. That's a good thing.
I think, genetically, what you want to do is fine, but you can't cross over on the sports side because you don't have the same genetic makeup.
No.
I don't care what you do.
Maybe I know the answer to this, but on the sports spectrum, if you are a female, if you are a supporter of Title IX, or you're a supporter of male athletics, who supports being a transgender and allowing to jump from one sport?
I read about the comments with Dawn Staley.
Yeah.
But
who else would support something like that?
I was really surprised because that would hurt her game unless she were able to recruit transgender players to South Carolina, because athletically they are superior. I mean, it's just that simple.
But, Lanny, we're talking about less than 0.05%. It's like 0.03% of athletes are transgender, but I just don't think I think there, a lot of times in sports and in life, there's a gray area. I just think there's no gray area here. You either should be able to play or you're not. You either the Bluebirds stay with the Bluebirds and the Blackbirds stay with the Blackbirds.
I'm not a gray guy. It's either black or white for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is, I think, in my opinion, and probably you agree, I think this is a black or white issue.
And regardless of what you do, okay, when you pass and you're dead and gone, and they dig you up 20 years later, your DNA still hasn't changed. And that's what the genetic makeup of the body is.
Or if you're going to do that, then go through the 100% surgery and everything. Do the Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner thing. Don't just start taking testosterone or taking pills and everything where everything changes. But go ahead with 100%. Get the surgery and have everything removed and castrated, whatever.
But you still have a genetic makeup and muscle tissue, bone structure that is different. That's not going to change.
No, that's not. Well, it could change a little bit.
Not enough, not to the extent of the benefits you're going to have in competing against women.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Yeah, Chad, we're going there. Calipari.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? I haven't seen that till just now. Finalizing a 5-year deal to become the next men's basketball coach at Arkansas. Says Calipari's contract expected to have an overall base salary slightly less than $8.5. He's making it at Kentucky. However, the deal is expected to be incentive-laden with the ability to pass that number. Is he getting pressure to get out of Kentucky?
I'm sure the Kentucky fan base they're awfully spoiled. And they've been, Who
you replace him with?
Right now they're talking about Hurley from Connecticut.
Why would he leave? He's got his own dynasty.
Well, I know, but Kentucky could throw a pile of money at him. And I'm guessing Kentucky and Connecticut will say, Dan, don't leave. We'll make it worth your while. Stay here with. And he's more of a Northeast guy, in the way he comes off and his attitude and everything like that. He's not a Kentucky guy, I don't think. In my opinion, I don't think he
may. It's a different world.
It is. He may leave, and if he leaves, it's only for one reason. That's for the money, and hopefully he stays because I think that's a good fit for Connecticut, and because he's rebuilt. They weren't very good there for a while, and he came in
and he's
slowly built it up.
Thing.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, and he's done it the right way.
Yeah,
not the way Calipari did it.
No.
Now,
even though Calipari had been to four or five Final Fours, he's won a national championship. He just hasn't been successful the last few years, and that one and done is starting to catch up with a lot of schools like Kentucky.
Well, the biggest thing, and I've said this before, I'm not saying that I'm a huge fan of NIL, but I think NIL helps college basketball, major college basketball, because you get these kids to stay because they can't make it in the NBA, and they can't make as much money in the G League.
Unless, I agree, and if if you have a guy that's a mid-major guy and he does not want to jump up to a Power 5 school and he stays around an extra year or two, then those mid-major schools are more seasoned. They have the veteran players.
Maturity.
Yeah. And
No, I agree.
I think we've seen that since COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They pursued Ole Miss's Chris Beard and Kansas State Jerome Tang. Both coaches returned to their respective school. Arkansas was supposedly offering in the neighborhood of $5 million. Says Calipari's been under more pressure at Kentucky than at any other time during his 15-season tenure, as the Wildcats haven't been out of the first weekend NCAA tournament since 2019 and suffered upset losses to St. Pete's, 15th seat St. Pete's, and a 14th seat of Oakland.
Yeah, this year. First round. Bounced out. And we've been saying all year because of Rob Dillingham, who, by the way, still is not declared for the NBA draft. Everybody, though, says that he's a lottery pick. I wonder if that'll change his mind now he knows that Coach Cal is leaving. But they were a team that was very young, had as much talent as anybody probably out there, but talent doesn't all, especially in college basketball, you got to have some veteran players.
Continuity.
Yeah.
Got to have continuity. Kentucky would have owed Calipari $33 million if they fired him. They owe him nothing if another program hires him. So I'm assuming he doesn't have a buyout.
No, I think that was the buyout. No, the buyout.
Kentucky would have owed Calipari more than $33 million if they fired him. But the school isn't owed any money if another program hires him, so he does not have a buyout.
Okay.
Now it says he's been in Kentucky since 2009, led the Wildcats to the national title in 2012, went to 4 Final Fours in his first 6 seasons. Kentucky went to the Elite Eight in 17 and 19, but has won just 1 tournament game since that last run in 2019.
Yeah, since COVID.
Wow. He is 4-10 and 123 with the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's 70%, 75% of your games. That's pretty good.
My question would be, does he change his philosophy if he goes to Arkansas?
I'm sure he'll adapt a little
The way
bit.
he recruits.
Yeah.
Does it give him an opportunity to kind of change face a little bit?
Yeah, I'm sure. But, that's what Kentucky wanted. They wanted – I mean, if you're a player and you're saying, let me go play for Coach Cal because I know I'm going to go into the league in 1 year. If I'm good enough, he'll make me good enough. I'll go in the league in 1 year. And that's all I want to do is play one season. I don't know if Arkansas is that kind of program. It's not a blue blood like Kentucky is.
No. And it talk about all the noise it would make in the SEC. I had not even seen that story. Yeah, that's interesting.
It came out this afternoon, and they reached Calipari. He was home walking his dog, and some reporter for our TV station there in Kentucky came up to him and asked him a question. He's just like, no comment.
Says the roster fallout. This was about noon today from Calipari's decision to leave Kentucky for Arkansas began Monday as Kentucky freshman Aaron Bradshaw entered the transfer portal, and top 25 recruit Carter Knox decommitted from the Wildcats and reopened his recruitment.
Nothing about the current players yet, and I'm sure that'll come down if this is all happens and is true. Then it'll probably be tomorrow for some of these guys.
That's interesting. I did not know. I knew he was under some heat, but I had no idea.
Speaking of Don Staley, our buddy Scott Fowler, who had a podcast recently, he came out before all this stuff with the Charlotte Hornets. Their coach stepped down. He came out in his podcast and asked Don Staley if she would like to coach in the NBA someday. And now he wrote a column last week saying, hey, Hornets, if you want to find a coach, there's one right down the street who's playing in the Final Four this weekend. Would you think Don Staley would leave back-to-back national championships and go on to
I'm trying to think what team has their number one assistant is female.
Well,
it's on the West Coast.
Oh.
Clippers, maybe?
Maybe.
I can't remember, but they have a top female assistant that a lot of folks say that she could be a head coach as well as anybody in the NBA.
Are there any better coaches, women coaches out there than Dawn Staley right now?
I'm curious to see what happens with the LSU program.
Yeah.
And Iowa won't be even close after Caitlin Clark leaves.
No.
That mystique is over.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Let me take a break. When we come back, who we got?
Doug Sosha, the head football coach at LR, is going to talk with us about his spring practice. They got a big spring game coming up this weekend, Lanny, and big golf tournament, and we'll ask him about how spring practice has been going.
Sounds good. Back in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Steve Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Steve Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. And welcome back. Glad to have you here on a Monday evening. We'll go straight to our phone. We have interrupted practice, and we appreciate taking the time out. Head coach Lenore Ryan, Doug Sosha. Coach, thanks for joining us.
You got it. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sounds like you got a whole lot going on in the background. That's a good thing. Great spring weather for spring practice. How's it been going?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, I think, our guys are on the grass right now, and, we're talking like 70 degrees right now, and guys are getting after day 12. They've been working really hard and working through the new offense, defense, special team schemes, and, we just got to keep pressing, to get to Barapalooza in our spring game this coming Saturday.
Coach, what have you learned about your team and your program in these first few days of spring practice?
Yeah, it's been excellent. Just watching these guys work, and certainly, there's a new scheme, there's a new offense, defense, special teams, but there's some guys that are really talented, and there's some guys with some high football IQs, and they play really hard. Now we just got to continue to fine tune and polish some of the things that we've installed, and but this football team works really hard.
I was noticing in practice the other day, you guys got two quarterbacks right now taking all the snaps. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? But I would guess maybe a good thing because those guys get all the snaps and they get to rotate.
That is right. It's one of those things where, obviously you'd love a little bit, a few more arms out there to help. And we've got some other guys that have come out and helped us during the practice. But, for those two guys to compete for the job right now in the spring and get, 50-50 on the reps, there's certainly a lot of value to that.
When you were looking and before you started or as you've gone along so far in spring practice, what has been some of the objectives that you guys as a staff and as a head coach want to try to instill?
Well, I think it's, you got to put a huge price tag on practice. And, I think, every coach, talks about that, and we try to give them the why behind that, and we try to break down, just how every practice is so important and a chance to, work on their craft and, installing the offense, installing the defense, special teams. And, there's some changes. Obviously, there's some new faces here in the coaching staff, and there's new terminology. So, alongside learning how to practice the way we want it to get done and, certainly executing, our style of offense, defense, and kicking game has really been the key objective. And coming out and working and, just having the right mindset and developing consistency.
Coach, when you look at it, it is kind of a culture shock when you bring things in, and I'm assuming that the reason you like to break things down and make sure the players understand it, so they've got something behind. Just change isn't happening for change.
No doubt. Yeah, but there's got to be a why to everything we're doing, and we've got great teachers, and our coaches have done an excellent job in our meetings, and we've met a lot of our objectives, but certainly I think. With this generation of young people, teaching them the why behind what we're doing is as big as anything.
When you go through it and you're looking at practice and how it's progressing, I'm assuming you're pleased with the number of changes that you're making and how you've been able to implement that in relatively a short period of time. You don't have a very big window for spring practice.
Right. We get the 15 days, and here we are on day 12, and I'm we talked about it today as a staff, just where. I'm proud of the way, our coaching staff has installed all the things that we want to get installed, and I'm, really proud of the players and how hard they've worked and how focused they've stayed in meetings. And, every practice has had a really, good intent and mindset. So as of right now, if spring practice ended today, I'd be really proud of where we are and certainly a ton of work to get done, throughout the rest of the offseason into the summer and then into training camp. But I think for our first 12 days, it's been awesome.
One of the things I noticed at the scrimmage and practice on Saturday, you did a couple of new things that maybe LR fans are not used to. You had a coaching clinic. We had coaches from around the state, 2 states coming in and going through a clinic. And then you had kind of a junior day, a rising seniors for some of the recruits to come in. Give us your thoughts on how that went on Saturday.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. It's something that we wanted to do. It's something that was planned, a long time ago. And, I think we had somewhere around 50 high school coaches from the surrounding area, and some guys traveled in to meet with our coaches. And we did a clinic late into the afternoon, about 4 o'clock. And then, before all that, obviously we had our junior day with about 150 juniors from across the state. And we had kids travel up from Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Virginia. And that was an awesome event as well.
I found out about the junior day. I think I'd seen something on Facebook, and then a guy that I played against in high school, of course I'm old as dirt, he was telling me his son, he plays at East Lincoln, had went up and attended, and then really, really pleased with everything that was up there and what's going on at Lenore Ryan.
Yeah, that's great. It's I think it's an opportunity for us to get student athletes here on the campus, see what this place is about, meet our new coaching staff. They get to watch our football team practice and kind of see what kind of brand of football we're trying to play. And certainly there's so much tradition and excellence here that there's a lot to build on.
Big spring game coming up on Saturday, kickoff at noon. But have you had your golf game? Have you tweaked your golf game? Because there's a big golf tournament for the Bears Gridiron Classic on Friday. You ready for that?
We are getting ready for that. I think a lot of guys on my staff are going to have a chance to play. I'm going to have a chance to get around on a golf cart and meet a lot of our guys that are golfing in the tournament. But I'm not much of a golfer, and I may hurt myself, if anything. But our coaching staff is ready to meet a lot of people out there at the golf tournament. We'll have players there, and we're looking forward to that. The weather's supposed to be really good on Friday, so can't wait.
Coach, we appreciate it. I won't keep you any longer. I know you got stuff going on with practice. I look forward to meeting you in person on Friday as I'm playing in the golf tournament. I'll be the big guy that's not very good but really enjoy getting outside.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much.
All right,
Thank you, Coach. Have a good practice. I like those things that he did with the coaching clinic and the junior day. Has that been done before, LR?
I think they try to start it last year. Maybe Coach Jacobs brought that in, and they had scheduled it again. They have to schedule far in advance, but it's not been. You'd have to go back into the 80s where they had something called the Clinic of Champions, where they'd get all the state champions in football the previous year.
I went to that.
Yeah.
And they used to have it. Now it's like a church, Gateway Center, not the Gateway.
Yeah.
It was a motel right there where 321.
Yeah, the old Ramada Inn.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where they held it. And I went to that, and each state championship classification coach came in and held a clinic, if I remember that right. But it was hosted by LR.
Yes. And that's
when I was still at West Lincoln.
Yeah, they did that a number of years under when John Perry was the head coach back then. So that would have been in the 80s maybe, mid to late 80s, early 90s.
That's when I started. It was 89, I think it was.
So, that was very successful because they had coaches. It was almost like a spring football clinic from all over.
What about the junior day? Is that something new?
They usually have that in the summertime, like around their camps. But I think they've just moved it up a little bit because I think the coaches wanted to get a chance to meet some of these high school coaches and some of these recruits, maybe get a head start on the recruiting for next year.
Now, were those kids, was there practice going on when those kids were on campus?
Yes.
Okay, so that gave them an opportunity to see.
Practice and a scrimmage.
Yeah.
Give
them an opportunity to see what it's really like. That was a good move, I think.
Yeah, that's an excellent
idea. I think able to bring people in, and anytime you could open up those lines of communications, it sticks in people's mind when you do that. And I'll tell you why. The first contact I ever had being recruited in high school was Ed Emery at Clemson on the Red Parker staff. Okay? They got fired before I went down for my first game. That was I want to say, I believe that's right. But anyway, that stuck with me, that was the first team that reached out, that thought enough of what I was doing to reach out. It's kind of hard to get that out of your head. That kind of leaves an impression. So if they have these kids on campus and they've invited them in, and it comes down to where they're trying to make a decision, you don't know how that will count in the back of their mind that, hey, they opened the doors up to me. They weren't recruiting me, but they opened the doors, so I could come up here and see what's going on.
And if it doesn't work, the way the culture is now in college football, if the kid goes off somewhere else and said, wait a second, it's not working out where I'm at my first school, let me try Lenore Ryan. I remember when they were really nice to me.
That's right. Let me give you this. The person I was thinking about, and Stacy was right, Becky Hammond was the very first female assistant coach with the Spurs. She was the first female full-time assistant coach in any of North America's major professional leagues. She also was the head coach of the 2015 Las Vegas NBA Summer League championship team. She was the first woman to serve as a head coach in an NBA game while the Spurs were playing the Lakers in December 30th, 2020. Something must have happened to Pop, and he wasn't there. So she was the acting head coach.
Oh, I did not know that. Did not hear that.
She did leave the NBA to become a head coach of the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA, but she was in for 8 years, the longest tenure of any female. But that's who I was thinking about. Thank you, Stacy. I looked that up. There's currently there's 5.
You know, Dawn Staley, she was a player in the WNBA, played for Charlotte, I believe. And she was also the head coach at Temple. So she was not only playing professional basketball, she was coaching a college team at the same time, early in her career.
Now, that I did not know.
Yes.
I heard her. That was new to me.
Yeah.
I like her. I mean, I do. She was point guard at Virginia. Yeah. She played 2004 Summer Olympics and won a gold medal in the 96. She played in the American Basketball League and WNBA. One of 15 players in WNBA history. Inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame in 2012 and the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2013. But you're right. She, while a player, she started coaching the Temple University Owls women's basketball team in the year 2000.
Yeah, that's in northern Philly, I believe. That's where she's from.
That sounds right. She led the program to 6 NCAA tournaments, 3 regular season conference championships, and 4 conference tournament titles. It looks like she is from Philly. Mm-hmm. Dobbins Tech was her high school.
I believe that's in North Philly.
Okay. It doesn't say. She was the first round, 9th overall pick for the Charlotte Sting. She played 10 years.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. Does she – I didn't realize she'd been at South Carolina since 2008, so she's been there for what? That'd be 16 years?
Yeah, she did. And in this podcast that I listened to, she said she did not expect to be a coach, and certainly was not going to didn't think she'd be a coach into her 50s.
Mm-hmm. She's 53, if I'm not mistaken.
And they asked her about Gino Auriemma and some other coaches that are in their late 60s and 70s. She said, I am not going to coach until I'm 60.
Yeah. Well, she's accomplished quite a bit.
She has.
By that point, I would say she may be able to do that. Let me take a quick time out. We'll be back with more here on The Bottom Line.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
And welcome back. Appreciate Coach Sosha joining us for a little bit here in the middle of practice. That was very, very nice. Open to the public, the scrimmage on Saturday.
It is 12 o'clock.
Okay.
They call it the Bear-Palooza.
Bear-Palooza.
They're going to have, it's like
Okay.
a carnival-style thing out on the
okay.
practice fields. And they're going to have food trucks, and that kind of thing. So they're going to celebrate all their sports teams that are playing that day, including the scrimmage game, which comes, I guess, at high noon.
I was just looking. We were talking about Dawn Staley just a little bit. She won her 600th game February 22nd this year. She has won 600 out of 786 games. That's a pretty good winning percentage right there.
Yes, it is.
She's won 534 of those games at South Carolina.
What is her secret sauce? I mean, get him to play harder than, Gino Auriemma's won 10 or 11 national championships. He's considered probably the greatest women's coach out there. Maybe he slipped a little bit.
She's a three-time.
Yeah. She's got a ways to go to
She's
catch him.
three-time national. She's six-time Final Four, 8-time SEC tournament champion, 8-time SEC regular season champion, 4-time Naismith Coach of the Year, 4-time WBCA National Coach of the Year, 2-time AP National Coach of the Year. That's pretty impressive. 7-time SEC Coach of the Year.
Yeah. Would she go to the Charlotte Hornets?
I don't know.
I mean, talk about making headlines.
I got nothing.
She's definitely got the credentials, right?
Mm-hmm. Is it that different? Do you think?
It's longer. It's more.
Oh, I know.
It's grueling.
Yeah. Well,
But-
so much of that stuff has become.
But based upon your credentials that you just read off of her, I'm guessing NBA players will listen to her.
I would think so. This really frustrates me because this is almost a full hour after my bedtime before this ball game will ever tip off tonight. 9:20.
Oh, that late?
9:20.
Yeah, me too.
Is what it says. That's not happening. I have to read about it in the morning. UConn's a 6.5-point favorite.
Well, because it's out west, so it's 6:20 in Arizona.
Don't care when it is. That's I just don't.
You can't have a game if you're going to have it out west. You can't have a game start at 5 o'clock.
Not during the week. But
Correct.
if they did it, I haven't understood why they don't do Thursday, Saturday. But
Well,
everybody said Saturdays, you just don't do sports on Saturdays like that.
Or championship games.
Yeah.
I mean,
ACC tournament, they really turned things around when they started going to – I was used to the ACC championship game on Sunday.
Yeah.
But they changed it, backed it up a day, and now they finish up on Saturday.
Because of so many other schools and conferences do it on some of them on Sunday.
Yeah.
They want to get some of that out of the way and let the committee vote and get the tournament all ready and everything. I'm guessing the championship games are on Monday, and because the women's games are on Sunday, so they spread it out. Make
Friday,
it Saturday,
Sunday, and the women's are
Friday, Sunday.
Friday, Sunday. Men's are Saturday, Monday. I don't like that. I don't like the college football national championship game being on a Monday night.
No, I don't either.
I don't care for that as well.
But if it's not on a Monday night, you know what will be on a Monday night? The NFL, because they're going to be on Wednesdays this year.
I'm okay. It
It'll
can
be
be
on
on
Thursday.
Thursday. I told you I used to love it when you get about halfway through the college football season and you'd have like the SWAC, the MAC, the JAC, all those would be playing Tuesday, Wednesday. You could get a football game of some variety every day of the week.
Doesn't it bother you, though, the quality of those games?
Not always.
You know, like some of those NFL games on Thursdays, that's sloppy. And
I could watch college football anytime. Now,
on a Tuesday night?
Wes and I are different. My son, he's purely an NFL guy. I would much rather watch college football than NFL football.
Yeah, I mean, I watch one for the Steelers and occasionally glance at the Panthers. But, yeah, I would like to watch a college football game, but I'm not in the middle of the week. I'm not a big fan.
There's nothing else I'm watching on TV anyway. If there's not some sports I want to see, normally my TV doesn't even come on. I turn it on in the morning when I get up and catch the weather and see if there's anything going on overnight that I missed, but that's about it.
Yeah.
The only other time I'm watching is sports. I watched all of except for a little short nap time, all of the women's game yesterday. But I won't see tonight's. I'll be lucky if I see the tip-off.
So was that the other night? Was that a foul at the end of the game on that moving pick?
Yes.
Do you call that?
You got to call it. And I guess what I'm saying is fairly consistent for the night with the calls. Mm-hmm. But the other side of it was if it's a foul, you got to call it. Can't swallow the whistle in the last. I've had that done to me coaching.
I didn't have a problem with the way the pick was set. Usually they tell when you pick something, you don't want your legs wider than the body, which that she was wider. But it was the elbow. It was the forearm shiver that was a dead giveaway that she got. If she'd have just widened out a little bit and stood there, or even just a little bit with her hip, I don't think it would have been called. But you can't forearm shiver somebody. That's not Dennis Rodman out there.
You know, the other thing that I noticed, and maybe it's different in the women's game, the women hand check a lot more than the men.
They do.
I didn't think you did that at all in basketball. I noticed that, especially on the guard play that was out in open space, there was a lot of hand checking. Keep their hand on them about all the time. And under the basket, they just beat on each other. And the men do too in college. I just don't think it's consistent enough.
They don't do it in the NBA though. Mm-mm. It's wide open, spread the floor, European style basketball.
That's a sport that I'm probably not going to turn a TV on, even when you come to playoffs and championships.
And maybe that's one reason why that the ratings are so much better for college and women's basketball than they are for the NBA.
Tell me what I was watching most of the day on Saturday and Sunday. Sports.
Well, there's not much else out there besides college softball.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
College softball. I see Virginia Tech was in a game. State was in a game. There was an SEC game. You can find a good college softball game. And I just like them because they move. They flow. I can even watch college baseball more than I can MLB because it flows.
Yeah,
it
but
just don't
MLB's
drag.
getting a little bit quicker, though.
Yeah.
And
I'll probably watch some Braves. That's about it. I don't really have a thing about Major League Baseball. I did want to ask you something else. I saw it here.
You have to write it down. You know that. Do you write things
down?
No,
I know what it was. Bronny James.
Yeah, what about it?
He's entered the NBA draft.
And
the portal. He doesn't start.
I know. He averaged 15 minutes a game? 12 minutes a game?
I don't get it.
Well, he's got an option. The kids love options.
Is somebody going to pick him up on the NBA hoping LeBron will follow him to wherever he's going?
Well, if he transfers, it's do the same thing, right? Now, I've had this discussion with some friends. If he transfers, I'll tell you where he's going to go. Duquesne.
That was not what I read. Let me tell you what I read.
If he transfers. The head coach at Duquesne is one of LeBron's former teammates in high school.
Yeah, but that was not the name that came up.
Really?
Mm-mm.
But I guess it's a rule. You're allowed to go as long as you don't have any representatives.
You can't hire an agent.
Yeah.
Well, he's got his daddy. Why does he need anything
That's
else?
right. Absolutely.
James has the ability to withdraw his name from this year's draft as well as an additional draft before becoming automatically eligible for the third time he enters his name in the draft. per NBA rules, providing him with significant flexibility moving forward.
And LeBron's a free agent, so maybe that's what they're looking at.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking.
It'll be a package deal.
I had read it, but, I mean, this is older, so I'm not sure where I read it.
Are some teams going to be that desperate to try to bring in a 40-year-old LeBron James and his son to play, sell tickets?
I don't know. This is the part that's sad. James will be one of hundreds of players who will make the move this spring.
And if they're not drafted, they go where? To the G League? If they don't transfer?
If somebody wants them. That's what I'm saying. They can make more money in college than they can in G League.
Yeah.
We looked that up one time. The average G League salary is well down in the six-figure range. If you're a good player, but maybe not quite to that NBA level, you get a pretty good check in college.
But if you're Bronny James, how much? He was one of the highest paid guys for an NIL last year.
Well, somebody said, gosh, I wish I could remember where.
Because Caleb Williams, the quarterback, got $12 million. I read that somewhere. So Bronny James, I'm guessing, got several million.
I would
Is
think.
that a good investment?
But see, I don't understand. To me,
Why don't his dad just give him an allowance and say, "Here's your NIL"?
that's exactly where I was going. To me, I don't know why Bronny James would need the money.
Yeah.
I would think he'd be more for.
Do you think he's playing basketball to make his dad happy,
I don't know.
or to get to the
There's
NBA
nobody.
so father and dad
There's
can play?
nobody that's been impressed with his game. Let's just put it that way.
No. You're absolutely right.
I wish I could find it, but I don't know
4
where.
or 5 points a game.
Yeah, he can't start. He's not good enough to start. And USC was not very good.
No.
And most folks say that he went to.
They changed coaches too.
So
that's why
he
were
went
very
to SMU, the coach that was there.
Yeah.
But they say he went to Southern Cal because LeBron was in California.
Yeah.
Wanted him close. So that's why. Where's Duquesne?
It's in Pittsburgh.
I don't see him going there. Maybe so. I don't know. I wish I could find it, but I can't. But Duquesne was not the first option. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
I can't find the other one. I think if he does make that jump into the NBA, they're trying to get a bargaining. Somebody's trying to get a bargaining chip.
Absolutely.
Or does LeBron twist their arm?
Is that a good basketball decision or is that a good business decision? It's a business decision, right? It's not. Is it
I don't
good?
think it's a good decision on either one, basketball or business.
Well, you take LeBron, you get his son. Obviously, his son's not going to play that much in the NBA, but then you can sell a bunch of tickets. There's some franchises desperate to win. There's one right down the road.
Back to Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
They brought Tim Tebow in to sell tickets,
Same thing.
especially
I
when he was
think-
doing the minor league baseball thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't have any trouble selling out Crawdad Stadium, did they?
No, they did not.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Let's see. What else you
There's
got?
always a business component.
Oh, yeah. What else you got, sir?
Oh, let me give you the all Eclipse team in baseball. I saw this. In baseball, in the history of baseball, there's the all Eclipse team. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, yeah, the all Eclipse team. Catcher, Fernando Lunar. First baseman, Sonny Jim Bottomley. Second baseman, Moon Mullen. These are real players. I remember. Third baseman, Ray Knight. Shortstop, Alvin Dark. Outfielder, George Soler. Center fielder, Wally Moon. Sky Bolt. Pitcher, Sun Woo Kim. And pitcher, Ken Cloud.
Pretty good.
Yeah, all Eclipse team in baseball. That's courtesy of Tim Kirchin.
Couple questions NFL wise. We haven't talked about. Our boy Duggar, $58 million contract.
Yeah, 66 if you count the incentives, and $32.5 million guaranteed. So you know how NFL contracts work, Lanny. If it goes the full distance of the 4 years, could be anywhere from 58 to 66, depending on incentives. But like a lot of contracts, they're probably front loaded for the first 2 years, so that's about $16 million a year, which would be a couple $100,000 what he was transitioned for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good deal. He's the 5th or 6th highest paid safety in all of the NFL. He's going back to the team that drafted him, that liked him.
Well, his defense coordinator became head coach. That helps too.
And they said that we wanted him back.
Mm-hmm.
They just they transitioned him, give him a 1-year guaranteed contract at about $14 million, and they gave him a window to negotiate. There were reports coming down last week that Duggar was a little impatient. He was getting frustrated that he didn't sign that 1-year transition tag, and that the Washington Commanders were looking at picking him up in a trade, or maybe the Patriots trading him to another team. And about a day or two later, after all that kind of died down, he comes out and signs his contract.
How about Derek Brown getting a $96 million extension?
Well, you couldn't have Derek Brown and Brian Burns on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
So what's more valuable, an edge rusher or somebody that controls the defensive line of scrimmage like a tackle? And he was probably, for that kind of money, he's one of the top defensive linemen that nobody knows in the NFL. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's an anchor for your team. He was the first draft pick of Matt Rule. That's maybe the best pick that he made. That year that they drafted all defensive guys, you remember?
Mm-hmm.
What was Matt Rule's first year? 2019? 2018? 2019.
Been 3 years ago. 19.
Yeah.
So he's going to make it 3 years.
So, yeah, Derek Brown.
T'Vondre Sweat, Big 12, Player of the Year, Outland Trophy winner, was booked into jail after an arrest for DWI. When do these guys, get it?
No, they don't. This always happens during the off season.
Mel Kiper has him ranked as the number 3 defensive tackle in the draft.
You see how big he is?
6'4", 360.
Say that 360.
Yes.
He's the old throwback nose tackle.
Yep. I was looking if there's any other NFL.
I mean, last year was Jalen Carter, the Georgia guy. We all done it, I'm sure. When I was in high school, it's like that one player who he was racing a Lamborghini, and he had that accident. They were racing. Now, I've raced with a 1969 Skylark, but it was on an empty road that was not finished.
Not a $250,000 vehicle that you have leased.
No, maybe a $250,000 vehicle, but it was, and I got it up to about 85, and the car was just shaking. But you don't do a Lamborghini and you don't race on a highway.
Nope. What's big in baseball today?
Hank Aaron.
7:15 today. Yep.
60 years or 50 years? 50. 74.
Yeah, 50.
50 years.
Winding up, thoughts on Ohtani and the first home run ball as a Dodger, and how the people that had the ball felt like they were mistreated, that the Dodgers were not going to let them get away with that baseball.
Yeah. They tried to bully the people into.
Would not let her talk to her husband.
Yeah.
Will that go away?
No.
And then through his interpreter, he stated that he had talked to them.
And he lied.
And, that baseball's worth a lot of money, worth more than a couple of signed hats. Mm-hmm. Dan Patrick said, well, they should have asked for 2 season tickets.
No, for lifetime season tickets.
Yeah.
That's not going to hurt the Dodgers.
And then they were saying, well, you won't get it authenticated. Well, they got video. How can you not get it authenticated?
Do the right thing. And Dodgers didn't do the right thing.
No, they didn't.
They're as much to blame as Ohtani is in his representatives.
That's correct. I didn't think it was
talk about a
handled.
fan in baseball. Just
And this was my understanding. These were fans. I mean, hardcore fans.
Yeah. That's just a bad way to build rapport between your fans and your franchise.
I didn't think it was handled right.
No.
And just want to kind of see what you thought.
100%.
Yeah. I didn't think they handled that right at all.
And the fact that the manager backed up his player, probably knew that he was lying and whatever. But the fact that the team tried to bully, they sent some representatives to try to bully the fans that turn over the baseball. Just say, hey, come on with us. We'll put you up on the big scoreboard. You got season tickets for life. And just treat them like you would any other customer.
I just thought that was sad the way that was handled.
It was.
And I'm sorry. I'm going to believe the fans more so than the Dodgers.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and hopefully Ohtani won't be one of these since he's made $800 million. A lot of times, this memorabilia has to be sold off because they can't make it when they get out of the sport.
Yeah, but I don't think in this case.
Super Bowl rings, I mean, all types of things.
Maybe he'd sell it off to pay his gambling debts. Who knows what he'd do with it?
He doesn't gamble.
Yeah.
Come on, Juju. Really?
You saw the meme, right, with Pete Rose? He said, God, I could have got out of this if I'd only had an interpreter.
There you go. I still think Pete deserves to go in.
He's already in. All his uniforms and baseballs and bats.
Well, I told you my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
What's going to happen. They will never let him go in alive.
Yeah.
He'll be inducted posthumously. But they won't be able to keep him out then. But he'll and he's what, 83, 84?
Is he in his 80s now?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I read that.
He played in the 60s, early 60s. I think his first year was 1962.
Yeah, he'd have to be. Pete Rose.
Yeah, he had to be.
82. He's 82. Mm-hmm. I was thinking 83, 84, but he's 82. Yep. Well, he'll be 83 in 6 days.
Oh,
His
really?
birthday is April 14th. Yep.
So he's a Taurus. No wonder he's so damn stubborn. I can say that because so am I.
You know more about that. And you knew he was ambidextrous? Pete Rose?
He goes both ways?
Could bat left or right.
Yes.
Charlie Hustle.
He's a switch hitter. Or was a switch
Batting
hitter.
average 303. 42-56 hits, 160 home runs, and 13-14 RBIs. And he had over a 500 winning percentage as a manager. I don't think he goes in as a manager. He goes in as a player.
I agreed. He's the hit king. No doubt about it.
Can't take it away from him. All right, folks, that's it. I don't think Mr. Rembert's in town tomorrow. I think he told me he wouldn't be back in town till tomorrow late. So probably talk to you again Wednesday morning, Thursday morning. Have a good day. Hope you got a chance to see the eclipse. If you didn't, watch it on TV. Somebody will show it to you. See ya.